Hello everyone, thank you so much for heading back to my channel. This is going to be a journey of me basically turning my backyard to an oasis between flowers with perennials and a cut garden and our vegetable garden. So thank you so much for coming in and seeing what we have in store today. So I really want to show how I stay organized for seed starting. There's so many different ways you can do it. I by no means am an expert. I am just going to show you what works for me. As a teacher, I live by being organized and having visuals, so that way with a chaotic lifestyle, I have 2 kids, work full time, you're always super busy between appointments, birthday parties, and all that fun stuff. I found a way that keeps me organized, and that way I'm not flipping through calendars and trying to figure out what I'm doing. So first, before you get ready to seed start, you want to make sure you know what zone you are in. So I'm in planting zone 6A. I am in Western Massachusetts. It can kind of be around like zone 6B as well. I just go more towards zone 6A, and you want to know when your last frost day is. So ours for the 2025 schedule is going to be around May 9th. I usually shoot for between Mother's Day and Memorial Day to know when my flowers and my vegetables go out. All my warm things, I like to go around Memorial Day or the weekend before. I actually even took a day off from teaching just to have a nice garden day. So anyways, you need to know what zone you are in. It's going to be super helpful. A lot of the seed packets tell you to do things before 4, 6, or 8 weeks before your last frost date. So you need to know when your last frost date is. So I suggest going to the Almanac website, or you can even just type in Google and say, hey, what's my last frost date for whatever your zip code is, and it will give you a nice generic one if you want to go in through the Google route. Then you can go ahead and figure out if you want to start winter sowing, which I did some videos on that, and then seed starting inside. So last year was my first time seed starting inside. I did snapdragons. I also did a lot of zinnias as well. Oh, look at Gizmo's coming to say hi. And then I did all my vegetables, peppers, tomatoes. So even though tomatoes, they might say 6 to 8 weeks out from your last frost date, I found that even doing mine about 8 to 10 weeks before my last frost date, I wish that they were a little bit bigger. I had a lot of green tomatoes towards the fall that I actually had to take down and put in the sun so they can finish ripening. So I'm going to be fluctuating and doing my tomatoes and peppers, say 3 months out before my last frost date compared to last year. So it's just a little bit of a learning curve. And again, by no means am I an expert. I'm just wanting to share what I do. So first off, I make sure I have my seeds. Kind of a little crazy. I did a lot of seed swapping. I continuously keep buying seeds. So just know what you like. I learned that I just really want a lot of cherry tomatoes to make my tomato basil pasta, and I go through a lot of peppers and cucumbers with my family. So I'm mainly focusing on that. And then you will look at the back of the packets, but I found for me, what has worked is I invested in the app Planter. There is, I'm pretty sure, a free version as well, but because my garden bed was so big, I actually opted in for the paid version. I believe it's $12 or $13 for the full year. So roughly around $1 a month, which I figured was great because it breaks down, I'm telling you, everything. So I really like this app. It does all of the work for me. I just put in what my zip code is, and it will find when my first and last frost date is as well. And I can literally go through and pick out what I want to start, and it will tell me when to start sowing inside, around when I should transplant, and then when I can start harvesting. It tells you what diseases your flowers or your vegetables or fruit might encounter, the different pests that might be bothering, and some different solutions for it. And what I also really enjoy is that it tells you companion planting that say tomato goes really good with basil, and it'll have like a little green circle by it, so you know that those are really good to companion plant with. Or if you choose something else, it might be red and say like these 2 things take up too much nutrients from the soil. You might not want to put them next to each other. So with that being said, I just want to show you how the Planter app works, and then what I take from there to make a simple checklist that I put right next to my calendar So that way I can just glance at it and be like, oh, okay, it is March. Let's see which dates I have. And I usually try and round up or down towards the weekends since I do work full time. There is no way I can seed start during the middle of the week. Everything happens on the weekends. So that's when I usually do it during nap time while my kids are sleeping. All right, so here is a rough sketch of what I have going on so far with my garden this year. I'm not quite sure where everything is going to be, but I'm still starting to work on it. But as you can see, you can make your own little raised garden beds. It's by foot. It shows you right down here that my tomatoes and basil with these little green dots, that they are great for companion planting. You can go ahead in, type in tomatoes. It will also show you different kinds that you can go ahead and look from. It gives you the category, tells you all this great thing. Spacing, the sun, it needs full sun, how much you should water it, if it's frost tolerant. But this is what I like, is the growing calendar. I have my zip code in there and it will show you when I should be starting things inside. It says 8 weeks before. I actually am going to be doing it back in February. And then you can also go back and add different plants. They have all of your cool crops. They also have flowers, which I really need because I'm going to be starting a big perennial garden this year. If you click on show all, it will go through. You can find what you're looking for. Echinacea plants happen to be my all-time favorite, so I'll be growing a lot of those. But again, it shows you the spacing, depths, what kind of sun it needs, when to start them inside. I actually have mine cold stratifying right now in the fridge. So I have those going, and when you can plant them out. It shows the pests that they might happen across, or the diseases, but definitely all the beneficial critters that will be coming along, which I need. I want to bring all the pollinators in. And it just gives you a little breakdown of how to harvest and store and start from seed. Like literally, this is amazing, especially since this is going to be my second year. I love reading through this. It gives me a lot of information. And you can keep scrolling. There's so many different flowers. They have fruits, greens, they have herbs, which I want to get more herbs into my garden. Last time I had a lot of basil and everyone at work kept asking me for basil. So this time I'm doing so much more. So again, this is what I'm working with so far. I have the paid version because I needed to have something that could go with my big garden and the scale of it. But again, it's super amazing. So I went through and I looked at my last frost date and I looked at what the planter app had for me for starting indoor seeds. And I went just into Google Docs, which is free as well. And I just created a little spreadsheet right here. So I have this right here. I already started my echinacea inside, and then I broke everything down from February, March, April, and then I stopped at May because everything should be out by May. When I can sow things directly outside, I highlighted in red. Anything that I could start transplanting, some stuff is going to be in March, I did in green. And I didn't do everything for transplanting, but mostly when I should be starting things. And again, I kind of just rough estimated for the weekends because that's when I know I have time. So something just as simple as this, like I have this right next to my calendar. My calendar, if you are a full-time mom, working mom, you have kids going everywhere, appointments, your calendar is going to be completely full with that. And I don't have time to write transplant basil, start snapdragons. So I just have this off the side and I literally will go through and check it off when I'm all done. So this is me being super organized, making it super simple. Again, using what I can for resources since I am a beginner gardener. Again, this is my second year. I always had a farm share. This is my first year without a farm share. So I always would share stuff with my colleagues from the garden. So this is gonna be the first time where I'm doing everything on my own. Super excited to show you the journey. So you can see my perennial garden, my cut flower garden, and my vegetable garden, which now I know what I'm gonna eat and what I don't like eating, so I can focus on the things that will benefit me and my family. So I hope that helped. You can go through seed packets, you can write on a calendar. I found that using the planter app really, really helped me. Again, there is a free version. I'm not sure the difference between the free and the paid version, but for me as a first-time gardener, having the paid version for $12 a month, I think you can also pay monthly too, super, super helpful. takes all the guesswork out for you. And then, you know what, in a couple of years when I feel like I don't need it, then I can cancel my subscription and then I can just use what I have. I'm trying to make sure that I date everything and save files like in Google Docs, so then that way I have it as a resource for years to come. And I hope that really helps someone. If you are going to be seed starting soon and what you like to grow, please let me know down below. Thanks for joining. Bye.